Trails in the Sky First Chapter Remake didn't get any nominations? Should we get mad? Or should we get busy? Hey friends, it's Just the Gems. I'm Brandon, and as I'm sure you're aware, the Game Awards recently announced the nominees for all the various categories, and some of the nominees are pretty obvious, right? Clair Obscur Expedition 33 under Game of the Year and under Best RPG. Totally makes sense. Absolutely deserving of the nomination. But there was a notable absence, particularly for JRPG fans like me, and presumably like you, and that was Trails in the Sky First Chapter. Nothing. Radio silence. Absolutely no nominations for this, frankly, incredible experience of a game. And there's been a lot of anger online about it, right? And that makes sense. This tends to happen every year. The internet gets into an outrage because whatever game it is that they had in their mind as their favorite isn't nominated, doesn't get the recognition they feel it deserves. So it could just be a bunch of nothing. People could ignore it and just move on, right? However, I think that the fact that a game as good as Trails in the Sky First Chapter, the fact that it didn't get a nomination tells me that it's kind of pointless for us to get mad. Really, we need to do something about it. And what that something is we need to advocate for the Trails series. And not just the Trails series, of course, but JRPGs beyond Trails. Because for the most part, the Academy, if you will, they're not the Academy, but like the people that choose these games for the Game Awards, if it's not Persona or Final Fantasy, they kind of don't want to have anything to do with it, right? So we need to create a compelling case for Trails and for other JRPGs. And there are ways that we can do that that don't involve becoming a content creator. That was the path I chose, and some people would say that was a mistake, and maybe they're right. But there are a lot of things that I think anybody can do to help shift the narrative, to bring in new potential fans, right? There's an element of the Trails fan base and of, any fan base that is going to be more toxic, and their goal is always going to be to, gatekeep and prevent normies or other people that have different interests and different priorities from enjoying the fandom that they enjoy. I'm not talking to those people. Those people have already left a nasty comment and clicked away. The people I'm talking to are people like you who care about the series and who actually want to spread the joy around. So let's talk in detail about some of the things that I think all of us can do to help spread awareness and raise the profile of game series like Trails so that they get the modern mainstream recognition that we all know they deserve. First and foremost, if you are a person on the internet, chances are you are using sites like Twitter/X or whatever, Blue Sky, Reddit. You are on forums where people are gathering and sharing information, sharing opinions, asking for advice, things of that nature, right? You spend time on the internet just like I do, so you're part of probably multiple of these sorts of communities. Always keep an eye out for people that are looking for JRPG recommendations. But it's not enough just to throw in a recommendation for Trails when somebody asks for a JRPG recommendation. It's very important that you cater your response to the sorts of things that the person asking the question is looking for. Generic hype isn't going to sell anybody on the series. You have to really hone in on what they're looking for in a game. So if they talk about wanting a game with fantastic world building, obviously you can talk about the rich lore behind the Trails series. If they really want great character development, you can talk about how characters throughout the Trails series recur even after the games that they're a part of, so you get to see these characters continue to grow. There are a lot of ways that you can fine-tune your approach when somebody's asking for a recommendation to really and truly sell them on Trails for its strengths. Obviously, these people that are asking these questions are already interested in the genre, so you don't have to be super general about it. I think it's much more effective to see the things that they're looking for and give it to them. Like if they want cool action combat, but they're open to turn-based, hey, you've got Daybreak, you've got First Remake, which combines the best of both worlds, basically, right? You've got action, you've got turn-based. If you want something a little slower paced, maybe you recommended them Cold Steel because the combat there is all turn-based and it's a little more moderately paced so that you can get your head around it and learn the systems. Tailoring your approach to the specifics that people are looking for is how we're going to create new fans. So keep in mind as you're putting out recommendations to people online, try to hone in on exactly what it is they're looking for and share why Trails fits the bill. And if it doesn't, that's okay. They're probably not looking for a game like Trails, and you can move on safely. But if you do think that Trails would appeal to this person, by all means, share away. Go nuts. Okay, this next one does involve a little bit of money, but it's not necessarily money that you would be spending above and beyond what you might otherwise be doing. So keep that in mind. What I'm suggesting here is if you have a friend that you know is into JRPGs, has not tried the Trails series, you think that they would like it, strategically, you can purchase one of the games in the Trails series for that person as a birthday gift, a holiday gift, whatever the case might be. If you have a tradition of buying gifts for somebody, obviously, like if you're talking about going out and buying gifts for people that you've never bought gifts for, that's going above and beyond, and you absolutely can do that, but I'm not expecting anybody to do that, right? That's a big ask. But if you already purchase gifts for people, if you have friends in your life that you exchange gifts every year, this is a perfect opportunity to plant the seed, again, to give them the game that you think is going to hook them on the series. And that's very important. It's not just about forcing them into whatever path of entry worked for you or you think is best. You need to work with them, right? Like, think about the sorts of games, the sorts of JRPGs and stories that your friend or loved one has enjoyed in the past, and present them a game that fits that bill, right? Like, if you know that, right now, when I'm recording this video, it's November of 2025. So Trails in the Sky first chapter remake is out. Second chapter doesn't come out until next year. So if you know that the person you're buying the gift for is going to hit that cliffhanger and they're going to be furious and they're just going to like pull their hair out, it's totally fine. You can give them Daybreak, give them the first Daybreak game or the first Cold Steel game. Find the entry point that you think is going to most appeal to their personal aesthetic preferences, right? If they like the sort of action, turn-based hybrid combat, then Daybreak is a great point for them to jump in and see if they like the series. I did that with a friend of mine. Like, I didn't purchase it for him, he actually purchased it himself, but he was interested in the series, saw Daybreak was at the time the latest entry, and he asked me, he's like, can I start here? And I said, well, I think this would be more appealing to you than starting with one of the older games. And he did it, and he's been playing it. So like, there are opportunities to get people in, but remember to, again, kind of cater the experience to them, right? What are they going to most appreciate? And if they get hooked on one of the later games, they're going to want to go back and play the remakes of the first two games that we know about right now, potentially more, and get into the rest of the series from there. So it doesn't so much matter that you get them in the front door with, Sky first chapter. As long as you get them in, they're going to go back and they're going to devour it all. And it's totally fine to kind of put caveats on the gift and say like, hey, just so you know, and I know that this might be important to you, it's a little bit of a slow burn in the beginning, but it picks up, 4 or 5 hours in, or whatever the case might be for the game you're getting them, right? Like, be honest with them. If they don't have that information going in and they're not gripped within the first 2 hours, they might think, this was kind of a stinker. Now, hopefully, because it was a gift from you and you're special to them, they are going to push their way through the game and they're going to fall in love with it, despite how it maybe starts a little bit slow, because it's a gift from you. But, everybody's different, and that won't necessarily sway everyone. So it's okay to provide caveats to your gift and just let them know what they should expect. Okay. This one in particular is one that I think that the more toxic side of the fan base is absolutely not going to want to have anything to do with. Like, I could imagine somebody on the more toxic side buying the game for a friend. That's something I could imagine that they might do. This they absolutely would not do, but I do think that this is very, very important for people that love the series and want to see the fan base grow. And that is supporting the localization of the game as it's coming out and post-release. So if you can afford it, buy the game when it first comes out. Now, again, this is asking you to spend money. So I'm not going to say that this is absolutely vital. You need to do this. If you are on a budget and you have to wait, a few months until the game drops $10, $15, $20, that's totally fine. And that's still good. But if you can afford it, to buy the day one launch edition, to buy the collector's edition, whatever, like, if you can afford to do that and it's something you want to do, then you absolutely should do that, because those early sales really influence, how the series is viewed by not just the creator, Falcom, but by their publishing partners like NIS America, Gung Ho, Xseed in the past, right? Like, they pay attention to how fast these games are selling, and they know where they then should focus their efforts in the future. Like, they're in it to make money too, right? NIS America needs to make money from sales of the Trails games. And if they see that these games are selling like hotcakes right out the gate, they're going to put more time and attention on those games. Whenever possible, leave positive reviews on Steam, on any platform where you are able to leave a review. Metacritic, like, leave a review of the game anywhere you can so that people will see it. And that will also help boost the ranking of the game in all the various algorithms that control everything we do in our lives. And make sure that you follow Falcom and follow the localization companies, NIS America, Gung Ho, and boost the posts. When they post about Trails, retweet, comment, like, send it to friends. Like, honestly, engaging with social media, engaging with the company's social media posts really does a lot to show them what games we in the audience are most interested in. And I know it seems cringe, right? Everybody gets on like companies that are like trying to act cool or be funny or whatever. I get it. But if you can, hold your nose and retweet, guys, because that makes such a big difference in getting attention on the games that we want them to pay attention to. They really, really do pay attention to that. If you are a part of other gaming communities, right? Whether it's Final Fantasy communities, Dragon Quest, Persona, whatever. If you're a part of any of these sorts of online communities outside of just basic social media, right? Like Discord and groups like this are a little more private, a little more kind of focused on a specific topic. So you don't want to be the sort of person that comes in and derails a conversation. But if you do ever find opportunities that are relevant for you to bring up Trails, take those opportunities when you can. Right? Like if it feels natural to do so. If the conversation is about interconnected video game worlds in the series of, the series of interest to all these people, you can also mention how Trails has a very similar sort of big interconnected world between games. And that's one of the things you like about both the game that is the topic of the conversation and Trails, right? You can kind of show them that there are, opportunities for continuity of their interest between these various games. Over time, as you do this sort of thing, you probably are going to become known as the Trails person in the community. And honestly, I feel like, wear that as a badge of honor. You're the Trails person. If I was the Trails person in a Persona community, I'm all about it. This last one might sound a little self-serving. And it is. But I don't want you to just boost me. I want you to find the Trails creators that are making good, positive Trails content on the internet, and I want you to boost them too. Even if you don't make content yourself, sharing, leaving comments, liking, sending the video to friends via these Discord groups that you are a part of, that goes such a long way to spreading the Trails love, right? So you don't have to get an expensive camera set up and become a YouTuber and sell your soul to the algorithm to make a difference, right? Like there's plenty of us chumps out here doing that right now. All you need to do is like and share and boost those creators so that their audience grows and more people are seeing positive Trails content, right? So know that, yes, I very much appreciate when you like the video that I make, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate that. It helps me out a lot, but also it helps the broader Trails community because it's bringing in more people who are then getting exposed to the positivity that can be found here. Right? Like I know a lot of people that don't play Trails and their only association with Trails is that the community is really toxic, right? Like they look at the Trails community and they shudder. They're like, thank God I'm not part of that because it sounds awful. Like they all seem awful to each other and to everybody else. And fortunately, you and I know that's not 100% the truth. Like there are absolutely those toxic elements and some of them do make YouTube videos and some of them are active on social, a lot of them are active on social media, right? That's how we know they exist. But they're not the whole story. They don't paint the entire picture. Like the Trails community, by and large, is a very positive, overwhelmingly kind and welcoming place. And that's why I love being a part of it. And I personally am tired of the negative, toxic elements of the community being what defines it. That's just not true, and we need to do something about it. So boost the creators that are being positive, that are pushing Trails in a good way, that you think are most likely to bring in newcomers to the series. Boost those videos, boost those social media posts. Like, let's get more people in so that we can drown out the toxicity. And honestly, I think those things will go a long way towards, in the future, seeing games like Trails, maybe not Trails itself. I know Trails is ending relatively soon, so maybe this will affect future games, right? But there is no reason that games like Trails, broader, JRPGs in general, shouldn't get the sort of recognition that the Game Awards gives to the same sorts of games every year. Like, these games can be broadly appealing. They can have a mass market audience. We just have to show them. We just have to show that audience that these games are worth playing these experiences are worth having. So let's do it, right? Like, let's work together, you and me and everybody in this freaking community. Let's boost Trails. Let's get the word out. Let's get people excited about, especially Trails in the Sky First Chapter. This is an incredible opportunity to get people on board right now. Let's get people playing this series. Please, let's do it. Anyway, that's all for now. Just wanted to drop in with this because I just thought it was pertinent, right? When I saw the Game Awards and I saw all the kind of rage around the fact that Sky First Chapter wasn't nominated, it made me think, like, you know, I could just get mad, or like I could try and do something about it. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want us to try and do something about it if we can. Like, we do have power as consumers, as people with a voice on social media. Like, we do have some power. So let's use that. Let's use it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing and doing all of the YouTube things, it really helps me out a ton. I appreciate it so much. Thanks, of course, as always, to my members for being incredible and supporting me in the channel. And if you would be interested in becoming a member, the button is somewhere on your page to join, and I would love to have you. It'd be incredible. Also, check out my podcast, the JRPG Pursuit. Every week we talk about JRPGs, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And the information about that is in the description below. I'm running out of steam. I was like too fired up. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and until next time.